What's up? What's up? What's popping? Hey, y'all know what it is, man. It's Nate Dogg 916 coming at you live early in the morning. Not really that early. It's almost 8. I'm gonna let some people get in here. Hold on, I gotta make a phone call. I gotta hey, I was finna call you right now. That's crazy. That's that's crazy. Look, I ain't gonna turn it around because I want nobody to see the phone number, but I'm gonna hit you up right now. I'm gonna put this on mute for a second. Hey, well, stay there. I'll be right back. Don't nobody go nowhere. Hold on, I gotta make this phone call. All right, what's going on, people? Sorry, nothing. I had it. Hey, Young, I had it on mute because I had to take that phone call real quick. What's up with the people, man? Top of the morning, my brother. I send mine full blast, Mr. Goyo. I appreciate you, man. Salute, big ups, Wolf Walker. It's the kids. Salute to the OG. It's just Nate. I'm an old nigga, but it's just Nate. Who else? Young, by the way, my guy. So I made a video, but I might I might not even post the video because OG Steve, what's up with my bro, man? Allison in the building. I appreciate that, man. Salute. Let's put that over there. Look, so 916 Billy Lizard. Is it Billy LZER? You know who you are. 916 in the building. All right, so check me out. I made a video. I'm probably not going to post it now because I'll probably leave this live up, and you'll see why I'm not going to post it in a minute. But let me be clear, right? Like, I might post it anyway because it's live. People don't always go to the lives. I'm going to post the video too, but we're going to talk about it on this live. I was at a point for all my followers, and I appreciate you guys for staying loyal. Salute. I was at a point where I was like this close to being like, I'm not making YouTube videos no more. I'm not finna make no more YouTube videos. I'm good, right? I was that close, right? And the reason for that is because over the last couple of years, YouTube has become so saturated with bull crap. I'm gonna just be honest. YouTube has become so saturated with bull crap that I didn't want no parts of it, man. I didn't want no parts of it. And I was looking at it like, hey, if that's the crap that people want to see, I don't want to even be part associated with the prison genre or people who got out of prison making channels, because almost so many of the people, I'm not even going to lock it into no number, but so many of the people who have created prison channels, prison genre channels, fresh out channels, whatever, not fresh out, I'm not talking about her, but these channels, right? They made it all up. Half of them made it all up, man. A lot of them made it all up. Not only did they make it all up, but a lot of them are embellishing stories and glorifying bullcrap that they never even participated in. Half these dudes can't even go back to their blocks, man. They can't even go to their neighborhood, man, at all, period. You know, and I'm not even talking about one specific race either. It's all over the board. Like, I be seeing dudes and it's like, man, it ain't my place to call you out because I don't get into the drama stuff. But these are the things that made me like, yeah, I'm not. But then after talking to just regular conversations with people like Josh from the Homie Hangout, Rascal Reacts, Life Without Parole, Big Hurt. And I come to the determination that, and here's a way to put it so hopefully everybody can understand it, right? Is that if your children were going to the school and being fed a whole bunch of bull crap all day, right? Would you stop feeding them the positive message when they got back home? Would you? Just because there's so much bull crap out in the world, would you stop giving your children the positive information they need to be successful when they got home? When it's your turn? When it's your time? Would you stop giving them the information they need? And I'm not talking about prison crap like that, but there's a lot of lessons that we learn in prison that will help you be so successful out here if you practice the same morals and beliefs and stand on it. I don't fold for money. I don't fold for freedom. I don't fold for none of that. I stand on what I believe in, period. So would you do that with your kids? And my answer to myself, because I asked this question to myself, was no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I'm at my boys all day, every day. My daughters all day. Let's go. Let's go. What we doing? Stand on it. Stick to it. Don't never let nobody buy you out your own position. Ever. Right? So I'm like, you know what? I would be wrong. That 916 like, miss, you already know what it is. I would be remiss, in my opinion, if just because so many people wanted to watch these bullcrap channels, I stopped putting out the message that I put out, the information that I put out. Because my life is like a dictionary of how and what to do. Hold on, let me get this invite. So if I was to stop doing that, I would be remiss. So I'm not going nowhere. And I'm going to stay on this thing. And I'm not going to bite into, I mean, obviously nobody don't come at me. And I appreciate that. There ain't no reason to come at me because I ain't in your lane. We ain't on the same page. We ain't even on the same mindset. If I'm being honest with you. But the homie gonna come in here and we got some, that's the video I'm gonna release later. And we're gonna chop it up about that. You know? Because, and actually this is a long time coming. Actually, we supposed to been got on the camera together, but you know, we both work a lot. We both work a lot. And we both got a lot going on. That link work? But bottom line, like I said, I'm not going nowhere. I'm just about to start a new route for my job that I will for sure have the time and quietness and silentness every week to make videos and post videos for you guys. Because it's what's called a layover route. So I'm spending the night in a hotel, so I'll be able to have the time I need to make videos. Hold on 1 second.
What's happening?
Top of the morning. First and foremost, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Oh, you already know. We winning.
Third.
We winning.
Third.
We winning. If we ain't doing nothing else, we winning.
Hey, that is true.
And I did say we for everybody watching. We winning because and the main reason I feel like we winning is because we stand on our beliefs.
Yes.
We stand on, and I was just saying something a second ago, Rascal, like, or you want me to call you Josh, Rascal?
Either way, I don't care.
So something I just said a second ago is a lot of the things that we learned in prison, everybody thinks, oh, the prison mentality, But what people don't realize is there were so many lessons and behaviors and disciplines that while learned in prison for people who did time like we did, that when you transfer them out to the real life, you can and you apply them, you can be nothing but successful.
Right.
You can be nothing but successful. I'm not talking about making knives and criminal activities. And I'm talking about this is the program and I'm going to stick to it. If I could do it for 17 and a half years in there, why wouldn't I stick to a set and specific program out here?
Right.
So let's get into it. Okay. So for those of you guys who don't know, hopefully all of you guys are subscribed to Rascal's other channel called Rascal Reacts.
Yeah.
Is Homie Hangout back up yet, or is that still next week?
The Homie Hangout is today. I'll be dropping a video up today. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna leave it up to you which video I do. I'm gonna ask you a real quick question, and then we'll go from there. But I have two in mind. One, actually, I got three in mind now.
Yes. You got like seven, the three are at the top. I got you.
Right. Three that could happen today. Right. So, a lot of people have asked about like doing time around Woods, doing time with Woods. My views on that, my thoughts on that. Right. I have some strong views. That is the one group in which prison impacted my view in terms of race relations in a really major way. And so there's had to be some unpacking of that a little bit. So that's one I'm going to do, which I could do, today. Another one, I seen this cat's video on removals, right? And it got me thinking. And so there was
is that the one where he had a clip of a whole bunch of different people saying that, and then you were one of the people they had on there? Yeah, I saw that.
So I watched that, and all those stories kind of together got me thinking of a botched removal, right? So I was not set up for success,
right?
On a particular removal, and how it went down. So kind of like a little war story in essence. Also how that influenced a removal that I did in the future, right?
How you learned from the last one.
And I was like, okay, and nobody knew, but I knew in my mind. It's kind of like when you're in a fight, right? You're in a fight, it goes a certain way. Then you get in a fight next week, next year. Nobody else knows about that fight that happened way back then. What you do, right? And you're like, okay, so there's that element, or just a part two to my time in back of it. I actually thought I don't want to do that one today. I want to do something fun. But
I mean, I think either one of those two could be a good one. I think that the one about the woods, that, like you see, I feel the unpacking starting in the back of my shoulders right now while I'm saying it, right? And okay, let me be clear. I grew up in a multicultural family.
Yeah.
Obviously in a black neighborhood, but we've had every race in our family that was considered family, like from Latinos to Asians to blacks, whites. We had it all. We got it all. You can see behind me my mom on the wall right there. You know what I mean? So obviously I'm half white.
Right.
But what prison did to me as far as race relations, that's why I don't make videos about it. That's why I personally don't make videos talking about other cars, like the racial aspect between other cars, because I can meet a Sereno today and have no animosity towards that man. But 15 years ago, it wasn't even no hellos. It wasn't no, we don't need we don't need to conversate about nothing, like nothing to talk about. Or a tall white dude with a bald head. Like there's nothing for us to talk about. When I first got out, and just quick story real quick, when I first came home, I got a job and I was working on a rail yard in Oakland. And one of the guys working with me was a tall white dude, lightweight in shape, bald head, right? One day I'm standing out on the yard and I'm driving by in the yard truck and he's standing out there with one of his white buddies right now. Remember, I'm fresh out after 17 plus. And he yelled, "Hey, what the F are you doing?"
Right.
My hand couldn't get to the emergency brake fast enough, right?
Right.
And it automatically zone. You already know when you automatically, I'm out the back door, out right here in his face. Like, fuck you just say to me, man? He like, no, you're not. Hey, look, hold on, no. Let's back up. Hey, let's clock out for lunch and go across the street to the 7-Eleven, man. So I can break your jaw and then we gonna come back, because you're not gonna talk to me like I'm your child, man. You're not gonna talk to me like your child. You got me. And then, excuse my language, I'm not going to say the language, but you got me screwed up. And of course, that man went to HR the next day and they called me in the HR for threatening a coworker, right?
Right.
But my mindset, like I said, the mindset I had in there was zero tolerance, like from other races. Like if you...
I was going to say, especially the source.
Yes.
Nobody's going to talk to you that way. You are the nobody of nobody. If this is never going to happen, this is what's never going to happen the most.
Yes.
Right? Is this. Yeah.
After that, it was, smiles and I apologize and I didn't mean it like that. I'm like, hey, and when I was able to, like you said earlier, when I was able to go home and unpack that information, I was still on I still have my, what a couple people been talking about, why they get themselves in bullcrap. They use the word, somebody just made a video. It's about pride, though. It's about pride.
Oh, ego.
Yeah. So at that time, my ego was still on some. I will maul that cat. He got me. He obviously don't. He just see another guy in a hard hat, and you think that's the whole.
You think
that's like when you're in prison and they say this your C file. That's who you are. Nah, that ain't who I am. You don't understand because you just see it do that work. That already in my head. Once again, especially being fresh out, I'm already thinking about how to hurt you real bad before the tower see it. They didn't even know towers around.
Right. Right.
So that's one of the reasons why I try to stay away from talking about racial stuff or addressing racial stuff from in prison, because I firmly believe that for the most part, not all. So please don't go hit me in my comments talking about, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. For the most part, a lot of people that are, let me be honest, a lot of Black people, especially from up north, are not racial. Mm-hmm. They act racially in racial situations. We're never. Oh yeah. We're never the reasons. Well, in my personal opinion, and the homies I've dealt with, we've never been the reason something racial started. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But if you started, we've always been willing to go with you. Right. You know what I mean? It's good. We will. It's not like I walk out on the yard like I hate these effing Mexicans or I hate these effing white boys. I'm not. I didn't care. I was just trying to do my time. If you was the opposite gang, then okay. Because you got to remember, on the streets, it was Bloods and Crips for me. It wasn't nothing else. It wasn't. We had white homies, Mexican homies, Northern homies right next door. Like none of that mattered to us. So then you get to prison and the dynamic changes. So as far as that, I think the war story you had will probably be a lot more interesting, especially piggybacking off I guess you could piggyback off of dudes, but he got so many other people mixed up in that same clip that it's like.
Yeah, and it's not, so that just more kind of got me thinking about it. It's, I've told some more stories from prison. I obviously have a lot more I could tell. And then I have some that I probably wouldn't get into, right? And I hear you on the race one, and that's almost more why I want to do it.
I'm not saying you shouldn't. I just think it's longer than
it's
just. Are you making it a 2-part? Because I feel like to really dig into it and really get into it, it might have to be like a 2-parter. Like it's not going to be no 20-minute video. Not if you really get it across how you really want it across. Like it's going to take longer than 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Just me trying to explain, if I was trying to explain how I felt seeing my white cousin walk on the yard with me one time, that would take 20 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was like,
I'd watch that. I mean, I watch all your content anyway, but
right. I was just like, just the whole in my brain, knowing that if something pop off, I'm gonna have to explain this to my grandma.
Right.
Because she gonna be like, how was he on the yard with you? Because I've always been an alpha in my family. And if my grandma to hear my younger baby cousin, the next generation after me, came to my yard and something happened to him by some of my homeboys, like, wait, where you was at? Well, grandma, I was beating up his homeboy over there.
Yeah, good luck explaining. Yeah, you can.
Yeah. Grandma ain't gonna be trying to hear none of that.
No, it would make perfect sense to anybody familiar with the situation, and it would never make sense to her.
Not at all.
Nothing you could say would make it make sense.
None.
It's
that
which is the beauty. that's the beauty, right? Of not being incarcerated.
Right.
You know, that's the beauty of being able to have a set of values and morals that what's up, Daddy? Whoop, I see you. That's not influenced by this whole other culture.
Right.
You know, that it is what it is, man. And you're gonna be there, you're gonna rock with it. Or get rocked on. You know, one of those.
Yeah. So now let's get into
what's up though? Yeah.
What my video is about.
Right.
Okay, so you made a video responding to a couple individuals, reacting to a couple individuals on your channel.
Right.
And from if you guys want to see the video, just go over to Rascal Reacts. And
it was a long ass live, by the way.
Yeah, it was a long live actually. It was like an hour and like 25 minutes or something like that.
Super long.
So, if you guys want to see that, go over to Rascal Reacts. Watch the video there. You'll see the thumbnail with him holding up a shirt like this of all the soldados. So that's how you'll know which video I'm talking about. I'm not going to speak any names because I'm not talking about any people.
Right.
So, but in that video, you said something akin to, it doesn't matter, basically taking chomos and weirdos to the side. Other than that, it doesn't matter who someone is or what they did as far as folding on the team or ratting or debriefing, whatever you want to call it, as far as YouTube's concerned. And the biggest point is what message they're putting out. And if you want to elaborate on what you actually said, or they can go watch it, because I don't want to make you look like you're saying you rock with all these people or like that. Because you did specifically say what I do in my personal life, whether I would associate or talk or anything like that with you, was something totally different than what I'm addressing as far as YouTube. And for the record, he didn't say, before y'all go in my comments, he didn't say he'd rock with all these people. He's just saying, for YouTube's sake, the people that are on YouTube, it doesn't matter what all this, what they did. Because go ahead.
Maybe I could clarify a little bit. The point was, and if you listen to and it was a live and it was talking, right? So if you listen to it all, I think you would kind of, not you as in Nate, but people watching, right? Is that alone is not a deciding factor to me, right? and there are views and positions and things in my life that I've held that I have softened on my view
Right.
in my time out of prison, right? And so that alone, oh man, you rock with this team, I don't mess with you.
Right.
Oh,
That
you
don't decide
fit
that for
in
you.
this box, I'm not messing with you. I have shifted on that, right? And in some ways that have, even to be honest, kind of surprised me.
Well, okay, let me interrupt you.
But that is for, and I don't want to say it's all like fake for YouTube in a sense, but
but it makes sense from your whole mission statement. It makes sense for you because homies helping others move in excellence. So if you see the way I see, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, the way I see you going about that part of it is, hey, if you guys are moving in a positive direction, why wouldn't I support? Yeah, keep doing the positive stuff. I want people to move forward.
Right.
You know what I mean? Let's put the bullcrap behind us and move forward. That don't mean we rocking together, we best friends, we gonna skip down the street to the fishing hole. Nah, but hey, congratulations, do your thing.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But my point on that, and why like I told you, why I wanted to make a reaction to that specific part of the live was, in my opinion, it does matter. It matters because, and obviously, like you said, you were surprised when you started saying that it didn't matter as much in certain instances.
Right.
In my opinion is that I know when I was a youngster, if you were an older homie coming to my neighborhood and we knew you and you was coming speaking positive information and we knew you stood 10 toes and you did your stuff like you were supposed to do it, and you know, whether you gang banging or not anymore, you're still a member of our neighborhood, and you giving us good information, we're going to absorb some of that, especially if we see you doing good with your life. Like if we could see the example, not some dude just hanging out on the block with us at 45.
Right,
you know,
right. Not being a hypocrite. Yeah.
Yeah. But you pulling up in something nice, not necessarily foreign, but something nice, and you doing positive. You come holler at us for a minute and you, I'm out of here. I got to go. I got time to hang out with y'all. It's money to make or it's stuff to do. That can be, that we would have respected as youngsters. But if you're a 45-year-old dude and you come through and you got a rat in the car with you and we know you're a rat, and you're trying to talk to us about being positive and this and that, nothing you say is, you've already hit a brick wall. Like if I know that you are S and Y and you come to tell me about anything positive or anything, my whole mindset is like, I'm still looking at the base of what you've built on.
Right.
You built on folding. So why would I trust somebody who built on folding? Or why would I listen to somebody who built on the fact that you folded? You started building this positive persona after you folded.
Right.
Like, you couldn't be solid to yourself, let alone your own boys. Or was you faking the whole time? So how do I know you're not faking now for money or for whatever other reasons or influence or whatever? Like, so my mindset is the audience that I'm trying to reach, the people that I hope watch my videos and I hope, I know are sharing in my neighborhood, are the people that are still out there, or the people that are thinking that they can't come out because that's the only way to do it. You know what I mean? But then when I got, like, I don't know these 19, 20, 21-year-olds from my neighborhood. I don't know them young kids. Salute to them, but I don't know them. But I do know the 30-year-olds, the 33-year-olds, the young homies that were right up under me. And I do know that they're going in the hood right now because they still out there saying, hey, look at the homie Nate Dogg, man. Look what he's talking about, man. And now you got youngsters, 21, 19, in a trap, like, hey, look at the homie, man. I'm doing good. And I'm driving through the hood. It's youngsters I don't even know. Hey, Nate, what's happening, bro? Oh, what's going on? Like you was just saying, somebody seen you at the little car get down last week. Like people, man, I like what you do. And you got cats, tools in their waistband, hoodies on, big smiles.
Right.
Hey, oh, what's up, bro? What's going?
Right.
That's the energy I'm trying to find, because whether or not they're still out there, the seeds have been planted now.
Yeah.
Like I'm making you proud to call me your older homie. And like, that's why I stopped with, oh, OG. No. I'm older, I'm your homeboy, but I'm not your OG. Because I want you to learn from my mistakes. OG is basically a gang affiliated term. No, I'm not that guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yes, I'm from my neighborhood, and yes, I want them to look, not necessarily be a part of my situation. You know what I mean? But I want them to use my situation as an example. And if they think that I cavort with unmentionable people, then it's like, you know, he messed with bro.
Right.
Like, nah, bro, he got don't. Hey man, why you? Hey, I pull up and they just walk away.
Right.
Like, because they're not gonna do nothing to me. So it's like, and that's just out of respect. They're not gonna do nothing to me because I ain't done nothing to earn that. But at the same time, they're not gonna be around me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they dang sure ain't gonna watch my videos and show them to other young homies. And I'm not just talking about young homies in my neighborhood. I'm talking about homies all over. You know what I mean? Obviously, you know, you got more subscribers than me. We get messages from people all over the country and other countries.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Thanks for doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
I remember a while back, I got a long 2-page message from a guy in the UK, a young kid in the UK who had 1 foot in and 1 foot out. And I used to talk to him regularly on IG Messenger. Talk to him. Just call me, bro. Just call me. We talk. And now he's a computer programmer in the UK doing great.
That's dope.
And then he sends me this long message like, if it wasn't for the things you used to say to me, man,
yeah.
I don't know where I would have went. I'm like, well, I'm glad you're being successful, man. Just stay on your 10, man. Don't let nobody buy you out your spot. Don't let nobody scare you out your spot. Don't let nobody convince you that your spot isn't the right spot. It's your spot.
Right.
So that's basically what I feel about why it matters. About the history you come with, because whoever you are, don't matter who you are, what you're saying, people like me are going to look at the whole history before I listen to what you're saying. Like, I'm going to do my homework first. Like, I'm not going to be listening to some dude that's a transsexual, excuse my language, but excuse my, no disrespect, but you can't tell me about being a gang member in a neighborhood. You could tell me how to wear a dress, how to do makeup. If that's what I'm looking to ask about, then I'll ask you. But if I'm looking at how to get out these hood streets,
right,
you can't tell me how to get out the hood streets because you wasn't never there.
Right.
Like, and as you know, and we ain't gonna say no names once again, we got people who just make it all up.
Right.
They just make it up. You ain't.
Yeah.
You probably like.
Right.
If I told all the stories that I could tell, and I'm pretty sure it's the same with you. If I told all the stories I've been involved in, just them alone, people would think I was making it up.
Right.
They would think I was making, like, and I could bring victims on the camera and people that were there, and people would still be like, damn, how you do all that? But that's not it. To me, that would be trying to glorify how gangster I was back in the days. Like, that crap don't impress me no more. I don't care who you could beat up, who you could shoot. That don't mean nothing to me. What, are you taking care of your kids?
Right. That part.
Are you going to work? Or did you build a business so you don't have to go to work?
Right.
I mean, what are you doing positive today to make tomorrow look worse? Right. You know what I mean? You want tomorrow to always be worse than today, man. If you're not doing better every day, at least mentally, you're wasting your time.
Right. So I think I agree with all that. Right. All that. There's a lot there. So the whole thing of like, man, you ain't got to go that route.
Hold on, T-Rock. Go ahead.
That's why I point out, and I've noticed the difference in real life, in community work, right? So long before YouTube stuff, but in being in the streets and doing community work,
right,
I've seen that difference, right? I've reaped the rewards, so to speak. Maybe I'll better put it, but I've reaped the rewards of not having the same jacket as some other individuals, right? I've had access to spaces. I've had access to conversations. I've been able to build relationships. I've been received differently,
right?
Because I don't fit in the boxes that traditionally a lot of people who are out there like pushing positivity and in the hood and let me go talk to the kids at school that they've done, right? I've also not taken some opportunities. I've not gone some places. I've not worked alongside some groups, right? And that kind of stuff because I don't want that residual, right? And so I completely understand and agree with you, right? And that's kind of why I mentioned YouTube in the live when I was talking, because I've been home from prison almost 20 years,
Right.
and the vast majority of that time, been doing community work, all over the place, and so that wasn't an issue. Through all of that stuff, that wasn't an issue because it wasn't a factor, because I wasn't around people like that. I didn't move in those spaces and in those circles. And if I caught wind, I was like I was in a Bible study with a dude, and found out that, and actually this would be maybe a part of a video coming up, but I was in a Bible study with a dude, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I was in the shoe, this and that." I was like, "Okay," and he was validated as a part of a group that I'd never rocked with, So that was hard enough as it was. Like, man, it's real difficult, But I'm here out of respect for the guy that's hosting it, right? And then I find out he debriefed. I was like, yeah, bro, I'm like,
you're gonna make me take notes.
Like I viewed him entirely differently. I was like, all right, bro. Like, I'm not hating on you. You was never a part of mine. I'm not, but it's
just that.
But you really like it's and I mentioned the Bible study part because like we're talking about Jesus, bro. And it wasn't no hood stuff, it wasn't no gang stuff, it wasn't nothing else. It was a bunch of folks that had done time, that was in this Bible study. And I felt challenged by being around this dude because of who he rocked with when he did time. Just being in the same room with him was a challenge. And I was kind of like in those spaces like, hey, maybe I'm getting healthier than I thought, man. Like I'm in a Bible study with this dude, and he was an NLR cat, right? And he didn't have no big, but I would have never guessed it looking at his outward appearance. But so when I did find out that's who he rocked with, I was like, oh wow, that's a trip. Like I'm in a Bible study with one of these dudes, but obviously he ain't pushing that line. We're in a Bible study. It was the debrief part.
Yeah.
Where I was like, oh man, like, God probably still loves you, but I lost respect for you, And so I get all it. And that was me for a long time. And I still wrestle with kind of the YouTube stuff a little bit, this and that. And I'll be specific around that issue. And are there people out there who I think, and I talked about this actually, I think on my live last night a little bit. Are there some people that are disappointed or feel some type of way or like, damn, Brad's like, what you doing? I'm sure, right? And I wish that wasn't the case. But it's also about, so I still stand on mine. I still stand on, hey, you can come out that lifestyle. You don't have to turn on your homeboys. You don't have to flip. You don't have to tell. You don't have to lock it up. You don't have to use the police as a weapon against people. You don't have to get even. You don't have to do all of that. And I still stand on, I am one of many examples of that. So are you, right? Yes. And I'll hold on to that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't make the choices some of these other folks made. I would like to believe if I was in the situations they were in, that I would not make the choices that they made. Their choices as their own.
But like you said, I'm sure they have been in situations where they didn't make that choice, but in the end they did.
Right. And so it is tricky. And the personal, the in-person, the on the block all the time, and this YouTube thing, because of how it's virtual, because of how it's distant, because I came on YouTube during the early part of COVID, and I was in Sacramento, which is not my city, right? And so I'm kind of outside of my network, outside of the Bay Area, I wasn't rubbing shoulders so much. And yeah, I've switched up, but also I've run across people, because it wasn't just about the whole rats part, right? in my mind, I was also thinking you got people that are affiliated with gangs, so to speak, that we consider dropout gangs, degenerate gangs, PC gangs, right? And like that's weird to me, you know. And so, but I'd never been around, I never talked to those people before, right? Like I never had no occasion to interact with them in life. Right. And so, yeah, this YouTube thing, man, been different.
Okay, so somebody asked a question, and you already addressed this question in what you said. If they're asking me a question about you in the comments, do you see it already?
Is it T-Rock?
Yeah, he said this one right here, and I want you to address it because you said this in your in that live, that same video.
Sure.
And I'd rather you just tell him, because I agree with what you said in that in the beginning of your live, that live we was talking about in the first place.
Right. Yeah, that's I've heard that. I've heard a version of that from a handful of people since doing the reaction channel. So there's a couple elements to this. The homie hangout is a homie hangout. When on the homie hangout, and that platform, that hasn't changed. And I am not a Jekyll and Hyde. It's not as if I have, you know, two different persons, right? But I have a range of interests, a range of perspectives. So the homie hangout is going to stay what the homie hangout has been. And I have made some exceptions on the channel. I have gotten into a little bit of drama on that channel. It's very rare, but it's happened. Those videos are off. Those videos are down. That is not what that space is. I don't pull back on things that I've said necessarily. If I do, I make that clear. I said something and I was wrong. And I'll say that. I ain't never lied on nobody. I never made up no stories about nobody, nothing else. On any channel for any reason. Right. But did some of those things need to happen? Did some of those conversations need to happen? Was that the space for them? No. The reaction part, a lot of times people, hey man, what's your reaction to this? What's your reaction to that? Not all of my reactions are going to be critical. Not all of my reactions are going to be negative per se, right? I got a video coming up on a reaction channel today about this whole upstate Southsiders thing. And I'm actually kind of reacting to several videos. There's a lot of people that have put out videos talking about this whole upstate stuff from different points of view and different angles. Right. And so I'm going to do a video sort of reacting and mentioning what several people have said and kind of giving my 2 cents as a Bay Area dude through and through. And as somebody that was around and was in the streets at the time when this started, but also has been in the streets in more recent years in different ways. But it's not critical. I'm not there taking shots at people. Right. These individuals that I have taken shots at recently, which is not the identity of the channel, even though I regret that to a rational, reasonable person, you could think that was. And I got to do better in terms of the content on there. I felt like some things needed to be said about some specific situations. Yep. And I didn't really see those things I seen the shit talking. I seen the mess. I seen the critiques. And I agree with some of those critiques, but I wanted to unpack a little bit more. Mm-hmm. Right. And in part, especially in one scenario with one individual, try to be like, bro, do you see yourself? Be a mirror kind of. Oh, yeah. Do you see yourself right now? Yeah. Like, you can do better, but don't complain that this is what you look like. I don't think you've seen a mirror. Here, right. Let me help show you. Right. And if you don't like the reflection, bro, it's not a good reflection. But you can change that. And this is how you came to, people have come to see you this way. So the reaction channel is more wide open. It's more open. It's not about prison. It's not about my experiences. It's not about gangs. It's not about that stuff. This is my reaction. And my vision for it is, like food reaction stuff. And when I travel and I go places and like, oh man, I hit let's go hit the casino, go with babe, hang out at the casino for a minute. And I like to go different places, see different stuff, ride horses and just trip on shit, man. In life, I trip on life. Right. And so that is sort of the angle for the reaction channel. It's just that I started it in a season where then right after I started, that fake paperwork on the dude from down south comes out. Boom. And I felt I needed to speak on it.
Right.
That was kind of a straw that broke the camel's back. I felt like that needed to be heard. But I don't want what it won't be is a gossip channel.
Right.
And I'm sorry that it's the reaction winners.
Or a drama channel, I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, not a drama channel and not a gossip channel.
Yeah.
And I would hope, I would ask folks to be a little patient with me and kind of stick with it. But also too to stay on my helmet.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
And because it is a relationship. Now my channels are dictatorships, not democracies. I run my channels. But it is a relationship with those who watch and the subscribers.
Okay, let me. So he asked me the question. I wanted you to address it first before I address it. Now, T-Rock, now I'm talking to you. When I first saw Josh make a video like that, my first reaction was this. Like, nah, bro, what are you doing?
Right.
Like, what are you doing? No. Don't jump into the mud with these people, man. Don't do that. That's what I'm thinking in my head, right? Then I listen, and then I hear him talk. And my mindset was the same thing. I wish that I could at times, like, man, I'm so tired, sick and tired of these cats slinging all this goofy ass crap out here. Like, somebody needs to hear the realistic part of it. Like, and so I kind of, would I have done it? No, obviously not, because I didn't do it. But I do understand Josh's mindset on, nah, you can't just keep putting all this buffoonery out here and nobody who actually knows that it's buffoonery gonna say nothing about it. Hey, T-Rock, let's keep it respectful though, bruh. Let's keep it.
Oh, it's good. I'm reading the comments. I'm not.
But no, we on the NateDoggSac916 one right now, and I respect every one of my viewers, and I expect every one of my viewers to respect anybody that comes on the channel. You know what I mean? Like, we're gonna keep it. If you want to answer, if you didn't like the answer, bro, that was his answer. So, all respect due. If you don't want to hear it, bro, you can hit the exit button, fam.
I would. If I could.
Oh, you're disappointed. Okay, I could appreciate that. Now see, just say that right there, T-Rock. I respect that. That way he can hear that, and like he said, stay on his helmet then.
Yeah.
If you see him like that, stay on his helmet. That's why you guys are our subscribers. We want to do well, me personally, and I know Josh as well. We want to do the content that you guys are interested in. You know what I mean? That you guys want to actually hear. We don't want to be. I personally don't want to be labeled. Which is why, like I said at the beginning, I almost walked away from YouTube as a whole, because I don't want to be labeled in a group. I'm Nate. I'm Nate, period. Take me for what I say. Don't take me for what, this guy said this about prison, so it must be true for you too. Nah, did I say that? Right. If I didn't say it, it didn't happen with me. You know what I mean? Like people saying blacks don't check paperwork. Well, yeah, I've showed you guys paperwork. I've told you guys stories about me checking every celly that came in my cell paperwork. Any new cat that came from Sacramento paperwork, I had to let me see it. You know what I mean? So there's so many things that people hear on all these channels that people half the time I feel like they've seen it on movies or got told a half story from somebody else and just ran with it.
They hear somebody else speak to, and they're like, "Oh, that'd be good content for my channel."
Yep.
Right? T-Rock, I will, and maybe I can put a button behind this. I don't want to hijack Nate's live in this conversation, but I hear you, bro. I do, and you're not the only one. And I get the reaction to my reaction channel, right? Like, really, Rascal's getting into this shit now. Part of it is to separate the homie hangout and the reaction stuff. The homie hangout content is not going to change, but I do have something to say sometimes about other shit that I see. And I don't want that to cloud the message of the homie hangout, right? But it is also not just my space to go over there and wild out and talk shit and get into a whole bunch of ruckus either. it appears that way to some right now because of the timing of when I came out and because of those couple videos that I dropped, right? That's sort of what that live I did, where I mentioned multiple people, and I'm like, let me just air all this out. I think if you kind of listen to that live, it addresses a lot of what of your concerns, right? And I don't mean concerns like you losing sleep, but addresses a lot of that, because that's why I didn't do the G-Face video on the reaction channel. I took it off the homie hangout video. And I get into why, because that's not what it is for. I stand on what I've said. But yeah, maybe check out some of that live.
Yeah, absolutely. T-Rock, if you go check out the live, he broke it all down and basically not broke it down, but explained it all. Let's not say break down, because that means I'm backing up off of what I said. No, I said what I said. Yeah, I said what I said, but at the same time, I was at a character. You know,
yeah,
and that's where we got to check ourselves. You know what I mean? Because if everybody who watches my channel remembers the Silverback situation with me, I came a little bit out of a character for one video, and it started taking me to a different place. So I had to recorrect myself. But yeah, man, thanks for coming on. I appreciate you coming and explaining that for me, or breaking that down for me. I'm gonna still post the video if you do.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna post it right now because now I got to go to the doctor, take my son to the dentist. But everybody who came in and put your comments, I appreciate you guys coming in, man. Salute. We'll probably do this a little bit more often. Like I said, I'm starting a new route in a week, so I'll have a layover, so I'll have quiet time and all that other stuff, so I can start making content. It'll probably be the Hotel Room Chronicles. I'll probably call it something like that, because I'm gonna be in a hotel room.
That's dope.
Yeah, so you guys stay tuned, man. Stay sharing our stuff. Make sure you go over there and check out the Rascal Reacts and the Homie Hangout. Will be back up with new videos today, more than likely.
Yeah, I'm dropping videos on both channels today.
I'm not making a reaction channel, so you ain't got to worry about me, because I don't care what nobody else is doing. But I do know that reaction channels do their thing. You know what I mean? They do their stuff, so it's a good another little stream of revenue that can be acquired.
Yeah, and I think we'll see how it goes.
So I appreciate you coming on. This is obviously long overdue, and we're gonna definitely have to do an actual sit down at some point together in person, not on camera.
For sure. Yeah.
But yeah, have a good rest of your day, bro. And I'm gonna go ahead and cut this off now. And if y'all don't do nothing else, man, stay loyal.
Off top. All right, Nate. I appreciate you, man. Thank you, guys.
All the time, man.